Hello everyone, this is Donly Photoshop 2021 video course. In this course, we'll talk about shape tools and path drawing. This path is really just a tool for drawing lines and shapes. But how do we use the path to draw shapes on this image? In the painting, after we select this path, right-click on it, and then we can fill it in here. We'll stroke it. Let's choose Stroke, Subpath. Then choose a tool. We choose the brush tool, and the brush tool is blue now. Click to confirm. We used our current brush presets to stroke the path. If we still use the turning point tool, click to select this path, and then right-click select to fill the subpath. Now we'll fill it with the background color, and then click Enter to fill it with green. The message shapes are drawn, a function of the path as a primitive form of painting. Of course, in order to make it more convenient for everyone, we don't have to draw every time we want to draw some shape or line segment with a pen. The stroke and fill of the path remains on the screen as an image. So by the way, I would like to add a function of Photoshop for you. It's about the history. Every move you make in history is saved in this place. And this little dot is called Historic Record. If you can't find it, look under the window. Check the history window. We can stretch it longer. Every step of the operation has saved value, but the number of saved steps is limited. Generally, you can only save a few tens of steps. So now we can go back to where we started. What it looked like when we created a new image, and we're going to click left to select. Okay, we went back in time. Some of the shapes we normally draw, it's preset and already drawn. It's just stored here. Thanks to the shape tool, we don't have to do it step by step with a pen. We can click the right mouse button to see there are a number of shape tools. If we choose the first rectangle tool, we could draw a rectangle. If you hold down the shift key, okay, you'll have to adjust the rectangle to fit the shape of the square. Now you can see that we can adjust the size of this border directly. It's free to resize. If you hold down the shift, okay, you have to adjust the rectangle to fit the shape of the square. It's like the opposite of free transform. Free transform is fixed ratio by default. You can only hold down the shift to free adjustment. Now you're done. Let's look at the border dot. Remember, we talked about that. It's free transform. It can be pulled in radians. We're going to talk about the filling and the stroke. Look up in the option bar. Here's the fill, here's the stroke, and here's the thickness of the stroke. The thickness of the stroke line is a pixel. A /X means there's no stroke, so let's select the stroke. How about right here? Or we could just go to the palette. Click on the color palette, and we can select the color on this palette. Let's choose blue. The stroke has only one unit. We select the background layer and look at the edges. There's blue trace on the edge of a pixel. We're going to increase it now. If I increase it to 5 pixels, you can see the stroke is very thick. And I can also change the color of the fill. Click here. We change red to yellow. The color combination is really ugly, but don't mind. We talked about filling, stroke, and changing its shape. And then we'll look at the next shape. Then this shape is no longer needed. It's still back to the beginning from the historic period. Let's move on to the next one, which is called the rounded rectangle tool. Actually, the right angle rectangle tool can be rounded, right? We can adjust the arc of this angle. So let's just skip ahead to the next one. There's also an oval tool for drawing circles. You can draw an egg or an ellipse. Just hold down the shift to draw a circle. The fill, stroke, and thickness of the stroke are all the same. This is the stroke type. You can switch to stroke line. There are solid line, dotted line, and so on. Okay, we're back to the beginning. And the following polygon tool, which defaults to a polygon, holds down the shift to make it a regular polygon. Let's look at the option bar above, which also has a corner number to choose from. And now it's a pentagon. Now we can change it to a regular hexagon. We can draw a regular hexagon by just hold down the shift. Well, so this is the polygon tool. You can choose the number of sides. Let's go back in historic record And look at the next line tool. We can use the line tool to draw a line as well. We will find that the line has a stroke, but it's not filled. It doesn't matter what you choose to fill in. The line only has stroke. You can also choose the color of it. So I'm going to choose red. Okay, and then I have drew a red line, and I'll go back to the beginning. We can see that the following constant shape tool means that there are many shapes in this tool. There are a lot of shapes here, such as animals, sail, flower, tree, and so on. It's really convenient. Let's change the color of the stroke and fill. Okay, that's it. Then we're going to look at other shapes. I want to choose an animal. How about this giraffe? In the same way, hold down the shift and drag it out. Just change the color. That's what the shape tool does. So if you look at the layer here, there are 4 circles forming a little box, and this logo represents the layer, and it's a shape layer. Once we select the shape layer, we can change the fill, stroke thickness, and shape at any time. Very convenient. This lesson, our main content is about the drawing and adjustment of the path, as well as the use of the path formatting. That's all for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.